Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright,
Leicester 0, Manchester United 2, how Solskjaer's 4-2-3-1 beat Rodgers' 5-3-2. So going into the game, Brendan Rodgers lined up his side in a 5-3-2 system with Schmeichel in goal, Justin James, Wes Morgan and Johnny Evans as a back three, with Albrighton as a right wing back, Luke Thomas as a left wing back, and Didi playing as the deepest midfielder with Tielemans and Geordie either side of him, and Vardy and Iheanacho starting up front. Solskjaer used a 4-2-3-1 with De Gea in goal, Maguire and Lindelof the centre-back pairing, Wan-Bissaka as a right-back, Brandon Williams as a left-back, Matic and Pogba playing as a midfield double pivot, with Fernandes ahead of them, Greenwood starting on the right of the attack, Rashford on the left and Martial up front. So before I get into the analysis, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and after this video, make sure you check out some of my other videos which will be linked in the description below. So from the start of the game, Leicester adopted a trigger pressing system. When United centre-backs had the ball in the middle third, the Leicester front two would allow them space and instead sit deeper, cutting off the passing lanes into Matic and Pogba. This essentially created a box around United's central midfielders, forcing United to funnel their attacks down the flanks, which was a tactic that West Ham had success with earlier on in the week, and that was clearly Rodgers' plan in this game. If you haven't seen my analysis of the West Ham Manchester United game, check it out after this video, it will be in the description below. The trigger pressing came when United had just regained possession in their defensive third, which is where Leicester would look to press aggressively and attempt to win the ball back high up the pitch, with their midfield three pushing up to man press United's midfield three and the wing backs pushing up onto Williams and Wan-Bissaka. The narrow pentagon shaped front five press left space wide of itself, which is where United's fullbacks were positioned. Leicester seemed content to allow the ball to move out to the fullbacks, and this was because, as we know from previous games, that United struggled to create through both Williams and Wan-Bissaka. It was the wide central midfielders Geordie and Tielemans who were then tasked with moving out to close down United's fullbacks when they received the ball. It was obvious why Rodgers chose to use a 5 at the back system, as defending in this shape, Leicester were able to remain compact in the centre of the pitch while affording United space in the fullback areas where they are least creative, and this is the exact type of tactic Lampard deployed against United in the FA Cup. Looking to counter this, Solskjaer instructed Rashford and Greenwood to hold their width a lot more than usual. In previous games we had seen them move into narrow positions, but Leicester's midfield three had reduced this space, and therefore Solskjaer sought to push Leicester back into a back five by pushing Albrighton and Thomas deep, tracking the wide players' runs. When Leicester had possession, their main source of advancing the attack came from the wing-backs in their 3-1-4-2 possession shape, as United defended in a 4-4-2 shape, with Rashford and Greenwood pushing high up the pitch to join the press, which meant that if Leicester could switch to play quickly, they could get Thomas or Albrighton on the ball in a deep position from where they could look to whip in a cross. With Vardy and Iheanacho playing as a front two, it seemed like Rodgers wanted to exploit Maguire's lack of pace by playing passes into the channels to isolate him against one of the two forwards. However, Leicester weren't really able to do this. What they should have done is drop the wing-backs deep when they had possession in their own half, which would have seen Williams and Wan-Bissaka push up to apply pressure and therefore would have left space in behind them in the channel. A simple long pass over the United fullback would have released Vardy or Iheanacho into the channels. However, this sort of movement from the wing-backs and attacking pattern from Leicester rarely ever happened. Neither side were really able to open up the other in the first half. Rashford, I felt, was positioned far too deep on that left hand side, playing as a player playing the long passes rather than the player making the movement to receive those passes. Here he almost creates a chance for Greenwood from this position, but this is an incredibly hard pass to make and for Greenwood to control. I would have preferred Rashford to sit higher up the pitch, allowing Pogba and Matic to play those passes, and instead look to make diagonal runs in between the wing back and wide centre back, as this would have provided more passing options for United's midfield and maybe forced the Leicester backline to drop deeper to cover the spaces in behind. United needed to move the ball quicker from their defensive third when they regained possession. On the odd occasion when they were able to do this, we can see here that Bruno Fernandes has taken up a position in behind the advanced Leicester midfield, and when Matic is able to make the pass into him, he has massive amounts of space to dribble forward into and lead the counter-attack. I thought that Solskjaer should have pushed Pogba further forward up the pitch, changing the shape to a 4-3-3 with Fernandes and Pogba playing ahead of Matic. This was because United looked more able to move the ball into the box when Pogba had the ball in the final third, because of his close control dribbling and vision. Solskjaer should have released him rather than keeping him in that deeper position in the double pivot alongside Matic. Wan-Bissaka could have tucked in to create a back three to provide defensive security, as it wasn't like the United fullbacks were offering much going forward anyway. Going into the second half, Leicester seemed a lot more concerned with forcing the issue. They pushed their wing backs forward, looking to exploit the space wide of United's 4-2-3-1. They would then look to work the ball into Iheanacho's feet, which was something they didn't do enough in the first half, and we can see that when they were able to do this, Iheanacho is able to turn with the ball and lay the ball off for Brighton down that right flank. Despite this, they still weren't able to create enough apart from a few times when they were able to get in behind Williams and Maguire. Man United kept their same 4-2-3-1 shape with Greenwood moving into the half space as Wan-Bissaka pushed forward down the right. Despite this, United struggled to break down Leicester, and this was because of lack of creative ability from the fullbacks, with both Wan-Bissaka and Williams not attempting enough forward passes, looking to get the ball into Martial's feet. Instead, they ended up constantly playing backwards passes and just recycling possession. I also felt that Bruno Fernandes had an uncharacteristically poor game. His passing wasn't as sharp or as accurate as it usually is, as seen as he failed with a couple of through ball chances, which are usually routine for him. However, United did get the breakthrough when they were able to exploit the lack of pace at the heart of Leicester's back three, and in particular Wes Morgan's lack of pace. We see here that United apply a trigger press and catch Geordie on the ball, before Fernandes is able to slide a pass through for Martial, who beats Morgan in a straight race, gets the wrong side of him and forces Morgan to bring him down. Bruno Fernandes scored a resulting penalty, and United had the goal they needed. From then on, United were content to allow the game to drift. I was disappointed that up until then, Leicester hadn't offered much. They desperately missed James Maddison and his ability to feed through balls through for Jamie Vardy's runs, as I can't remember one significant time when Vardy was able to get in behind United's back line. Lingard in Messi-esque fashion made it 2-0 to confirm United's Champions League spot. Unfortunately for Lingard, the Ballon d'Or has been suspended for 2020, as otherwise he would surely have been the favourite to take home that award. Even though this game was rather dull in the end, I think from this season as a whole we can see that Chelsea, Manchester United and Leicester all have significant strengths, but also look very fragile at times, which is why they are so far off Liverpool and Manchester City. I will be doing videos looking at transfer suggestions, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, and in the meantime check out some of my other videos, including the one where I look at 3 players I would sign for Leicester this summer transfer window. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and check out some of my other videos in the description below.